passes across. Lane. Demidov in. Wait. Score! Ivan Demidov!
Yeah. Oh, man. What a game. Home opener, right? Home opener had to be like this. Oh my gosh. I was going to talk about how it's nice to see the guys who've departed from the Montreal Canadiens doing well in their respective teams. Emil Heineman getting a big goal for the Islanders. Dvorak with the best hands in the league.
To shoot it earlier in the shift, he didn't. Shows what kind of guy he is. Dvorak's the one that's going to get the goal.
And Logan Mailloux. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about this game. Let's just talk about this game because there's a lot. There's a lot in this game. Let's talk about it. I think this is a win that they kind of needed. It wasn't perfect. It was not perfect, but it kind of was perfect. The things that happened in order for them to win it, that was the perfect part. Things that happened in order for them to have to do those things that made them have to win it. Does that make sense? Those things were not the good parts. Before I get into recapping this video, thank you so much for your support. For those of you that are joining us for the first time in this community, consider subscribing. I do videos like this all the time after every game, right? Haven't missed one yet, have I? And we're well on our way to 17,000 subscribers. Can you help me out reach that benchmark? For those of you who already subscribed, don't worry about it. Just hit that like button and hype the video if it allows you to. So let's get into this game. This is going to be so fun. Les Canadiens de Montréal a joué les Kraken de Seattle. Seattle is like a name of a city that you can't really make sound French. Tonight was the home opener, and I remember lamenting about the home opener being against Seattle. Like they couldn't have found a better team for Montreal to play on the home opener. But now I totally regret thinking that way because this was an excellent game. On commence avec la formation de départ. So we start with reading the opening lineup, let you know who is playing tonight. Nos attaquants, our forwards, Caufield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Bolduc, Dach, Gallagher, Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, Anderson, Evans, Laine. Nos défenseurs, our defensemen, Matheson, Dobson, Gouli, Hutson, Xhekaj, Carrier, and finally, nos gardiens, our goalies. In net tonight is Samuel Montembeault. So pretty standard, no big surprises there. But because it's a home opener, they have some fun stuff planned for us. The broadcast starts, and it starts with a shot of the man of the hour, Lane Hutson, who recently signed an 8-year contract at a very friendly $8.85 million AAV. We're then treated to an excellent Ken Dryden tribute. They played his speech from his jersey retirement. And if you haven't watched the whole thing before, I recommend you go check it out. It's beautiful. It's available on YouTube. Then they play this incredible projection show. It looks so good. The branding this year, it fit perfectly into this. The media team in Montreal deserves a big pat on the back for this excellent show. Now the guys are all coming out. They've chosen their own entry music. If I remember, I'll pop the playlist down in the description, or if somebody wants to provide it in the comments, oh my God, you would be doing me a huge favor. Hutson comes out. His ovation is huge, just like 3 seconds shorter than McDavid's ovation. Xhekaj comes out. He's rocking the Union Underground. The song list, it was interesting. Jakub Dobesh, Where You Are by John Summit and Hala. Gouli's song choice was interesting. Kanye West. Interesting choice. Did not think that Ivan Demidov was a big 3 days grace type guy, and then of course Nick Suzuki chose Fix You by Coldplay. The anthem is very modern, an energetic, a beautiful version of O Canada that seemed to be very well received. Of course, Madame Beliveau is in the audience, and it was a great presentation. They always knock it out of the park in Montreal. It really put the Toronto home opener to shame. But let's drop the puck on this thing. And it's a fast start. Suzuki, Slav, and Hutson break into the zone after some strong forward pressure. And if Suzuki's timing would have been just a little bit different here, this would have been a goal. That's okay, because before long, our friendly neighborhood Newfie is going to score to open this thing up.
For Demidov. Demidov will skate it in. Stops, waits, centering feet, score! What a pass! Demidov!
I think what everyone remarked about here is Demidov put this tape to tape, a beautiful pass, and Newhook is not going to make a mistake. I don't know if he could make a mistake on this one. So we have to grow his eyebrows. It's a tradition here. Now on the power play, Montreal is looking pretty dangerous, but a little spoiler is they wouldn't have as many opportunities on the power play in this game as they did on the Chicago game, because there was like 1,700 power plays in that game. Now, as usual, Caufield is taking a penalty for slashing. He's always in the box, that goon. But really, Stevenson here forgets that he's playing hockey for a moment and drops his stick. Really a weak call. But on the PK, Seattle gets caught for interference, a pick on Evans. Now Vince Dunn is headed to the box. I love Montreal. I said this before. I love Montreal on the 4-on-4. They're just as dangerous on the 4-on-4 as they are on the power play. And they're looking great. Demidov is putting in some great work. But now Demidov, I think, gets a little overzealous here, and he's trying to pull a pick and gets caught red-handed. He's going to the box too. You can't call it on one guy and not on the other. These guys have got to stop playing sewer basketball. So back on the 4-on-4, I think I would have needed an ambulance if Lane Hutson would have scored on this feed from Matheson. What a play these two put together. I wonder if we ever see Matheson and Hutson back together. But that's going to do it for the first. It ends. What a great period of hockey. Very brisk, lots of energy, but also very tense. The second period starts. Matheson goes to the box for tripping. Not happy with you, Matheson. That's the first mistake that you've made this season. And on the power play, Monty has to come up big. Seattle is looking good in the offensive zone on the power play. So Monty does come up with some big saves here, and the defense aren't finding the best answers for Seattle.
And can really shoot the puck. Tolvanen, done. Works it down the right in front, score!
And eventually Wright finds Schwartz in front of Montembeault, who has no chance. They would have needed Xhekaj or Dobson to get in on Schwartz, but they had so little time. I think that Dobson would have been able to cut this off potentially, maybe sacrificing a block. So it is now 1-1. Before the game started, I was really hoping to myself that the first line would show up big this game to make the difference. And you know what? They did.
Goulet wanted it in front. Nice stick. Larson or Suzuki was in home free. Good defensive stick by number 6. Caufield. Wrist shot, Scott!
Yeah, that's Cole Caufield making it 2-1 with good pressure in the zone. Suzuki forces a turnover that goes right to Caufield in a very deadly zone. Yeah, if you're Seattle, you don't want to do that. Caufield's not going to make a mistake here. He puts it past Decord. 2-1 for Montreal. Now we see Slav continuing his hard physical play, which is great, but unfortunately, he's getting his stick around two of his opponents here, and he eventually gets called. On the PK, Monty is continuing to be the best penalty killer, making big saves. Point blank shot here, comes up with a glove save. Did this a couple times tonight. Now I want to take a minute to highlight Newhook on the penalty kill. Nui is doing a lot of good urgent work here, and I really want to give him some credit. Like I find he's doing everything on the PK that you need to apply pressure and force your opponents to make mistakes. There were 3 instances here where he's applying pressure and Seattle's making a mistake, and then a 4th time where he finds a block. I really like Newhook on the penalty kill. Still in the second period with time winding down, Goulet puts one off the post. In the defensive zone, we see Xhekaj and Carrier. Great work gaining puck control. But my criticism about what was happening with Xhekaj and Carrier and with other defensive pairings is they would do in the work, they would regain puck control, and then no help, and they wouldn't be able to find their feeds. And that's what happened here. There was sustained zone time. The puck gets turned over to Seattle, and this happens.
Keep again. Gaudreau behind the net. Gaudreau for Karche. Newman's in front. Karche shoots, spin it.
That's Newman making it 2-2 after having like 3 opportunities to put the puck out of the zone. Seattle gets possession. The puck is thrown in front and it finds its way in. It's a lucky goal. But is it a lucky goal if they had the opportunities to get it out of their zone? No. Seattle put in the work and they got rewarded. Now it looks like Dach is going to score to put the Montreal Canadiens ahead, but he's unable to get his 4th goal in 4 games, even though he took the shot right where he likes to take his shot, I think. That's also where a Heineman really liked to take his shots from. So in a way, I feel like Heineman lives on in Dach, except if I could pay Dach a compliment, he's got a little bit more edge than I think Heineman had. I do miss Heineman, though. I do miss our skid mark boy. Now Sam with a big save at the back door to avoid the second period last minute dagger. So that's going to end the second period 2-2 going into the third period. So in the third period, things are going to get a little spicy, and it's all going to start with a goal from Kirby, Dach.
Dobson space in, shot, score!
I love this. I thought that it was Dobson originally, I will admit, but Dach is able to deflect the puck in front. They set up in the zone here because of some good forechecking by none other than Brendan Gallagher. Matheson walks the line, puts it over to Dobson. Dobson throws it in front, and Dach finds the puck to deflect it in. 3-2. Now, if they can just hold on to that score. Back in the saddle, everything is great. Nothing can go wrong.
Josh Mahara. Oleksiak, great shot, score! Oleksiak, a rocket, and again, Seattle's...
Yeah, Oleksiak makes it 3-3, but what happened here, it was a moving screen in front of Monty. He can't track it, and the shot finds, I mean, the best possible place to trick Monty. And really, this was due to some soft defense and unnecessary zone time. This is another opportunity to get the puck out. This doesn't happen. So back to Arbor-Xhekaj and Carrier. I really loved what Xhekaj does here, where he edges out Winterton, who is fleet of foot. Xhekaj is still able to outpace him, moves the puck up aggressively to spring Demidov, who the refs promptly whistle down for icing. Unfortunately, they got a lot of boos for that one. And then the very next play,
Ivan Demidov just gets too much on it. On tour, waiting, shooting, hit a skate, follow-up, score!
Jared McCann makes it 4-3. After some great defensive play by Xhekaj, he promptly plays such a weak defensive play against McCann, completely crushing my spirit about his game tonight, and then also probably, definitely crushing his own spirit. I know he gets upset when he does stuff like that. I want to say that was his last shift of the night. He played 10 minutes, so he did break double digits. And I will say, I think that he was benched in previous games for unfair reasons, but he's got to keep striving to be able to reach, 13 minutes, 14 minutes, 15 minutes. That's the type of time on ice you want to see from your third pairing guy. I would not be surprised if Struble finds his way into the picture soon, just for a taste. And I don't like that. I like Struble, but I don't know. I think that Xhekaj brings a certain set of skills. So after that fourth goal by Seattle, the defense just seems to give up for a while. It sends me sort of into a rage. It just seems like a lot of non-urgent play. It really sends me off a cliff here, guys. I don't know how they can go from playing very, very tight to just finding absolutely no way to get out of their own zone. But then a pivotal moment.
Third.
Seattle, number 27, 2 minutes for holding.
We head back to the power play, and they're trying to make things connect. I'm on the edge of my seat because I really want to see them tie this one up. It would be a real fly in the ointment to end this game 4-3 at home, the first home game of the season. They're looking dangerous, but they're really not putting the finishing touches on anything. But finally...
Passes across, Line A, Demidov, in, wait, score! Ivan Demidov!
Yes, Ivan Demidov makes this 4-4 with time running out. They're getting all the way to the finish line, but nothing is finding the back of the net. Finally, Line A gets the puck. He's patient, he finds Demidov, and it feels like Demidov hangs onto this puck for minutes before backhanding it behind Joey Daccord. Et là, c'est 4-4. C'est d'accord, Joey. Merci pour la but. We're all tied up. And, of course, after that, Montreal locks down defensively. They play a perfect game and they bring it to OT, right? No, they promptly give up on defense and I'm sent back into a rage. They're playing so poorly in their own zone. Monty's having to bend over backwards, but in fact, we are going to overtime with that goal by Ivan Demidov. He ties things up. We avoid souring the night at least completely and get a point out of this game. Headed into OT, Suzuki wins the face-off. So Montreal starts with puck possession. They do eventually give it up, and I will admit that this OT was a very calculated. It was definitely tense, but there wasn't a whole lot of back and forth and big scoring opportunities. Both sides were playing their cards close to their chest. We do see Caufield crash into his buddy Joey Daccord, and I think that really Chandler Stevenson was the problem here, which sucks because Montreal was setting up in the zone. They had possession, and this should have been a penalty. This really should have been a penalty. You can't just take out a guy, put him into your goaltender, dislodge the net, remove possession from the team, and then force them to have to win a playoff in the zone. But this gives Martin St. Louis to launch his devious plan. He calls an OT. He's got a grin on his face like he's the smartest man in the world. So on the preceding face-off, watch what happens.
Off the draw, curls around. Lane Hutson. Cutting in, dropping off. Caufield. Shoot, score!
A fantastic finish to a fantastic game. Caufield makes it 5-4. Hutson creates chaos. Caufield gets in front of the net. Suzuki set up for him perfectly, but instead Caufield says, I'm going to take those 4 inches behind Daccord's back and put it in the net. Phenomenal. I love this game. I didn't love the defense so much, but Dobson is looking really, really good. Matheson continues to play excellently. I think he played close to 30 minutes this game. He was a tank. Gooley was great, although, sometimes Gooley makes me a little bit nervous. Same thing goes for Hutson, and then Jacka, unfortunately, he's the whipping boy, so he did make several mistakes tonight, so he might have deserved some whipping. Line continues to completely bamboozle me. He did help Demidov get that goal, but I need to see something more from him, man. Kirby Dach, excellent. I am so happy for you. Take that goal and run with it. Let's connect some more. Let's get some more in there. I really want to urge him to do it, and I'm just rooting for him so badly. Demidov, excellent game. Newhook, great on the PK, great offensively. The first line came out great. It wasn't such a big stat night for Slavkovsky. Although, did he get an assist? He didn't get an assist. He was +1. Lots of time on ice. 18 minutes, 22 shifts, 3 blocks. Oh, I'm looking at Evans. Sorry, Slavkovsky, 1 shot, 2 blocks, 6 hits. He was bringing the physical play. That's what I like to see from Slav, so no complaints. Hutson was phenomenal in terms of offense. Gallagher got 1 point. He could have been awarded with 2, honestly. He made 2 goals happen. A phenomenal effort from everyone. Jake Evans was great as well. Kudos all around. Everyone brought something tonight that was valuable. So I've been yapping for a while, 32 minutes in fact, and it is 1:30 in the morning. I really need to get this video out. I still have to edit it, so you'll excuse me. I don't know. I want to do more videos. This is so fun, guys. Like, I am having the blast of my life. That's not what I wanted to say. I'm having most fun in my life doing this. I thank you so much for allowing me to do this. I really feel like this is a platform for me, a fun hobby, but also a way to connect with people. I know I say it like at the end of every video, but I just really appreciate you. And you know the drill. Like the video, helps me out with search results or something like that. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would love to have you as part of this community. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.